What's happening, troops? Welcome back to another video on the SharpDiv YouTube channel. It has been a long time since I made a video, so I apologise for that. But in the wake of some of the incidents that have been happening in Scottish football and further afield down south, I really wanted to make a video on the subject. Fan invasions have been a thing for a long time. This isn't a new problem that's happening in Scottish football. But the rising popularity of them is really concerning. It's concerning for me as a fan watching on, and it really must be concerning for the clubs and the players as well. Over the last few years, some of the highest profile ones have been Scott Brown at Ibrox. We've also seen Neil Lennon attacked by a Hearts fan. Kylian Mbappe was almost attacked by a Celtic fan in the Champions League match. And obviously I'm just highlighting the Scottish matches right now. But if you are watching from outside of Scotland, I will get on to the Jack Grealish situation in just a little bit. In the last week, there has been a massive talking point in Scottish football, and that talking point has been basically the safety of players. Are clubs doing enough within the country to protect the players, essentially? The short answer to that is definitely no, with the incidents that we've seen recently. Scott Sinclair almost being hurt by a Buckfast bottle, alcohol which is prohibited within the grounds, but we all know if we attend football matches it's very easy to get stuff into the match. Then again, Rangers were playing Hibs not even a week after this incident, and just at half time, an absolutely pathetic fan runs on the park as James Tavernier is getting the football to obviously give back to the ref at half time, takes a swipe at the ball, misses because he's an absolute buffoon, obviously, never kicked a football in his life most probably, and then proceeds to put his hands on James Tavernier. Earlier in the season, we also seen Bobby Zlimal be attacked by a Hibs fan. In the same match, there was coins thrown at the Hibs manager, Neil Lennon, at the time. And I don't want people that are watching this video to think that I'm just making this video because it happened to a Rangers player. I'm condemning it from happening to any player. Any player in football. An athlete should be able to go out there and play to the maximum without worrying about Buckfast bottles and idiotic fans running on to try and confront them. Speaking a wee bit more on the James Tavernier situation, the Rangers captain, I think that he dealt with it very well. If a fan runs at me on a park, I don't know if I've got the professionalism not to just hit the guy out of instinct. But although he did push him out of his way to defend himself, I think that he showed great constraint in this instance. I don't know all the answers here, so I did reach out to people on Instagram. By the way, if you want to keep up with me on a more consistent basis, follow me on Instagram at SharpDiv. Marius replied and said to me that we should get the big f***off nets back, which used to be here years ago and are still in European football to this day. This could be a good solution, but overall, sitting back and evaluating it, this affects the fan experience. I wouldn't like to be behind a big stupid net just because some other idiotic fan decides to run on the pitch. But if this is what it has to come to, if it has to get back to what it was like years ago with fences and totally affecting the fan experience, then it just needs to happen, because most of the people in that stadium, there is a tiny minority of people that aren't, but most of the people are there to watch the football, they're there to support their team. And just before we do move on to some of the other solutions that could potentially happen in Scottish football and British football, I do want to speak on the Jack Grealish incident. So Twitter went mental yesterday. I wasn't actually watching the game, but I seen the video of it. A Birmingham City fan ran on the park and he's threw the lamest, worstest right hook you will see in history to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish goes to the ground. I think he maybe thinks it might be another player, so he's kind of going to the ground. I don't think he was actually knocked down by this punch in the slightest from a little maggot such as that guy. But that incident could have been a whole lot worse. That could have ended in tragedy, quite honestly, because as I've spoke about earlier on in the video, it's very easy to smuggle shit into stadiums. Why is it very easy? Personally, I think it's because these stewards who are doing, I think, the job that they are paid to do, are not trained adequately for this kind of work. To become a steward at a football match, it is very simple. Yes, they'll get some sort of training, but I don't think it's enough training to prepare you for an instance such like this. And do you know what? I don't blame some of the stewards because they're on 0-hour contracts, they're on minimum wage, and they're just there to basically make up the numbers, in my opinion. I have friends who have done this job before, and it is a lot of pish, basically. It's a piss take. Could you imagine working in an office job, right? You go, sit down, chilling out, you log onto your computer, and then this maniac comes for the side and batters you right in the skull. It's crazy. This is a workplace for these players. They should feel safe in it. Obviously, get involved in the comment section below as well and let me know other ways that we can actually stop this sort of shit from happening. Jack also pitches in and says that although he would hate it, he feels like a good enough punishment for this should be that the team responsible, or the fan responsible, if you can even call them that, plays behind closed doors in the next match. I've also seen Gary Neville come out and say that a team should be deducted 10 points, they should get this, they should get that, but a lot of people have disputed that, and I think quite rightfully so, by saying anybody could buy a ticket to any match, so you wouldn't necessarily even need to be a fan of the club to go there and try and cause a ruckus, and you don't know what gets through these people's heads. They're obviously absolute imbeciles, so if they see the chance to get their rivals deducted 10 points, then I wouldn't see why another fan wouldn't just do it. That could potentially be a Liverpool fan going and buying a ticket for the empty had, and then going up there and getting them the league basically by running on the parks and doing something ludicrous. Also, there could be government intervention. There could be better criminal charges for people that enter the field of play and conduct themselves in this way. The clubs could get more involved in upping their security, actually hiring security firms who are good enough to actually stop something from happening. Even the police, in my opinion, could set up better. In fact, there was a video at the Rangers-Hibs game from a Rangers fan, and there must have been about 50 police in front of the away end. And when you look over at the Hibs end where a bottle was thrown not a week ago, there is one steward every 25-30 yards, and it's just not good enough. That just is not good enough. So what should Scottish football do? What should British football do to condemn these sort of incidents? Social media's went mental. They're calling the people this, that, the other. Should there be public humiliation? I don't know, but I just thought that I would address the situation on this channel. And if you have enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel. Consider subscribing to the channel, because hopefully there will be more videos coming your way very, very soon. I've been SharpDiv. You've been your cellmate, mateys, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out. All my weakness keep on lingering.